We are Tom and Tim Shearer, twin brothers and runners for roughly 50 years. We started feeling that running was becoming too hard and expensive and exclusive and lonely and boring. So along with our family and friends, we set out to reimagine adventure running. Welcome to bjogging. Have you been a runner for years like us?
And running is starting to lose its magic?
Or maybe becoming a grind?
Or just feeling like, meh.
Or blah. It might be time to reimagine running as an adventure.
Not the kind of running adventure you'd find in a Google search.
You mean ones that are super expensive?
Logistically complicated?
In some way, somewhere, in a far-off, exotic location?
But perhaps an experience that can re-engage you in the sublime nature of running.
Something that we call
bjogging.
So what is bjogging?
And what exactly is a bjogg?
In a nutshell, a bjogg is a do-it-yourself, homespun, running, jogging, or hiking adventure.
That can be done, as much as possible, anytime, anywhere, with anyone.
To explain bjogging, let's look at the locomotion cycle and provide some demonstrations. Starting with the basics, walking and hiking, with hiking being more about being on the trails. An intentionally brisk walk is wogging. If you increase the pace, then you are jogging, also known as comfortably slow running. Continuing to increase the pace and it becomes running. A spin-off here is faster up-tempo running, including interval training or sprinting, sometimes like the movie stars. And there's also ultra running that includes running, jogging, and/or wogging over long distances. A side note, alternating between walking and running is known as jeffing, named after its proponent, Jeff Galloway. This can help folks ease into running or be a useful strategy for ultra-long distance runs. So where does bjogging fit in? Right here in the middle. It can be any or all of these. To understand how bjogging is distinctly different, let's use a milk metaphor. Think of walking or hiking as skim milk. Wogging is 1% milk, slightly different than skim. Jogging is 2%. Running would be whole milk. Let's say up-tempo running is raw milk, unpasteurized, straight from the cow, the kind of milk that we grew up drinking. And ultra running would be the cream. All of them are terrific, thirst-quenching, and delicious, unless you happen to be lactose intolerant. Milk can also be made into wonderful value-added products like countless varieties and flavors of cheeses and ice cream. Bjogging provides its own value-added element by adding in homespun adventures. For example, reenacting Paul Revere's ride on foot in costume, finding all 50 U.S. license plates on one run, a challenge to collect the most roadside aluminum cans over a 5K stretch, running a route tracing the shape of a bunny on local streets, on a single run visiting 7 local brewery tap rooms. The possibilities are endless. Just to be clear, bjogging is not about running faster, or further, or meeting qualification standards, or collecting medals and trophies. There is nothing wrong with these noble pursuits. We still dabble with them now and again. Bjogging is simply about running more adventurously. Where did the inspiration for bjogging come from? It's fair to say it evolved from a series of transcendent running-related experiences. Starting in 2014, there was the cross-country running camp in beautiful Acadia National Park. It included a pre-dawn run up Cadillac Mountain for the sunrise. In 2016, we met up with college buddies for the Reach the Beach relay. It was a joyful 200 miles of a sleepless running adventure in kilts. Then in 2018, we found ourselves in Nova Scotia running the quirky Not Since Moses race. 10 kilometers on the tidal flats of the Bay of Fundy during the lowest tide of the year. Another huge inspiration has been Beau Miles, the Australian backyard adventurer. His films on A Mile an Hour of adventuring and Running the Line on a defunct railroad line, in particular, really lit a fire in us. It was after the COVID shutdown that we used our pent-up energy and enthusiasm to start experimenting with our own do-it-yourself homespun running adventures. We felt this had potential. It all came together with our next big project in 2022, our very own Hilltown Family Adventure Relay, a 75-mile running relay tour of our 8 beloved Massachusetts Hilltowns. It turned into an epic celebration of our community, our family history, and our shared love of running. We were hooked and wanted more. Bjogging was born. Why is it called bjogging? Well, we all have a strong admiration for Nordic sensibilities.
Sort of the Nordic way.
For example, hygge, the joy in everyday things.
And then there's legum, balance.
Sisu, determination.
Friluftsliv, love of the outdoors.
And allesmandraten, freedom to roam, even in private places. What are the specific elements of a bjogg? Borrowing from the Nordic ethos, we've latched onto the 5 basic qualities of a bjogg, the 5 A's, if you will.
Yes, events that are accessible, that they're doable, that have just that right amount of challenge.
Ventures that are actually adventurous, that are unique, they're value-added experiences.
Creating moments that are affordable. They have minimum cost.
Running adventures where everyone is welcome, that encourages participation and builds a community of bjoggers.
And building events that are what we call autotelic, that you do it just for the sheer joy of doing it.
One example of a bjogg is known as plogging. It's from the Swedish words plocka up, meaning pick up, and jogga, meaning jog.
In Icelandic, bjoggum, loosely translated, means let's go. Combined with jogging, or wogging, or trogging, or slogging, or even hot dogging, you get bjogging.
Some of our Nordic heroes include Jakob Ingebrigtsen, Johannes Klabo, Bjorn Daly, and Leif Erikson.
And on top of all of that, our ancestry DNA proves that we are Icelandic and Danish. At least a smidge.
Or a scooch. What can you expect on the Bjogging channel?
Well, we will be presenting to you homespun, hike, jog, run adventures focused on the 5 elements of a bjogg.
The goal is to share a bjogging video with you every 2 to 3 weeks. That's the goal.
So be sure to like, subscribe, and get notifications so you won't miss a single bjogg.